How's it going, guys? Back from another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 4K UHD releases on physical media. These are solely movies that I own on 4K, and I'm going to be ranking which ones I think are the best in my collection. Granted, there's going to be some titles missing here. These are not titles that are the best of all time, but definitely a lot of them serve to be reference quality and movies I think people should own on physical media. Much like every top 10, there's going to be some honorable mentions because there's a lot of titles that I think are really great 4K transfers, especially from their Blu-ray counterparts. So let's dive right into the first honorable mention, and that is Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. Now, there's not going to be any Christopher Nolan films in my top 10. I know a lot of people will have Dark Knight or Interstellar in their top 10, but I think Dunkirk is a real sleeper, and I think is one of the best 4Ks of any Nolan film in the 4K format. Why it's not in my top 10? Simply because it's missing that Atmos track. Now, it sounds fantastic. It maybe doesn't necessarily need an Atmos track, but we're comparing 4Ks at their finest. What really makes them stand out to their Blu-ray counterparts? And the Blu-ray is already pretty fantastic, and the 4K does enhance it quite a bit, but that missing Atmos track, which is always lacking on physical media for Nolan films, is what really prevents this from going to the top 10. But Dunkirk, I think, is a sleeper, and I think more people should check the movie out itself and own it on 4K. Next title is another sleeper, and I don't see this movie mentioned a whole lot, and that is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. This is one of the healthiest transfers I've seen on 4K. It's a stunning film. If you've watched it on Blu-ray, it's a step up for sure in quality on 4K. Really great visuals. The Dolby Vision really elevates this film quite a bit. It sounds fantastic. Just a movie that I think, you know, nothing is wrong with the Blu-ray, but it's really enhanced by the 4K. And I wanted to highlight it because I feel like it's a really good 4K that not a lot of people do mention in their top 10 lists. Next up is a pretty straightforward pick, and rightfully so, and that's Back to the Future, the entire trilogy. I think the first one is probably the best looking 4K, but they all do look fantastic. And as someone who's owned it on Blu-ray, this is definitely a step up in quality on 4K, especially with the audio. Definitely a movie to own if you are a fan of the trilogy, and 4K is definitely the way to step up because it is noticeably different from the Blu-ray. Next honorable mention is an older film, and that is Stanley Kubrick's Spartacus. Really great transfer. The visually, just a stunning movie. I think it's healthier. The grain is still there for those that are not a fan of grain. It's still there, but it's more refined. There's less noise, and I just think it's a healthier transfer. It's visually just stunning to look at. Like, the colors just really pop in this film. It doesn't have an Atmos track, but still a really great sounding film. Then another movie I don't think gets a whole ton of attention on 4K. Next honorable mention, kind of a no-brainer, and that's Avatar: Way of Water. If you love this movie needs to be seen on Dolby Vision. It's just absolutely stunning. Dolby Vision really elevates colors, and for such a colorful film like this, you want to experience it in the best format possible, which is Dolby Atmos. And if you do want to own it, this is the only special edition set that actually comes with Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. So not all 4K releases of Avatar: Way of Water come with both of those. Just a stunning transfer. It was already a great looking movie, but just is ultimately enhanced by that 4K. I do not own the first one, so I just own it on standard Blu-ray, and that's a stunning Blu-ray itself, so I'm sure the 4K looks pretty good as well. And then last but not least, my last honorable mention is a film that I feel like a lot of people have in their top 10, their top 5. Some people might even have as their favorite 4K ever, and that is 2001: A Space Odyssey. Great transfer. I think this is one of the best transfers of some of the older films that we have gotten, considering what this film looked like before restoration, and seeing over the years how much it's been restored and how visually stunning it has become. Having seen the film in its original print and seeing how rough it was, definitely makes me appreciate even more the amount of work that went into restoring this film and making it look as dazzling as it does. It really is stunning, especially the last 30 minutes of this film really just suck you in, and the Dolby Vision really is what shows the greatness of 4K in this format. So those were my honorable mentions. Now let's dive into the top 10. At number 10 is 1917. Now, this is one of the newer films on 4K, so it does have an advantage over some of the older classic films and the whole restoration process that they've gone through. But 1917 is such a pitch perfect looking film and sounding film. It totally takes advantage of what this format is all about. Really rich sound, really great visuals, the colors pop, super sharp. I really am just impressed with this 4K. I had a great time experiencing this film in Dolby at AMC, and I wanted to own it in the best format possible. And the Blu-ray is pretty good, but it is tremendously enhanced in this 4K. So it's at number 10. At number 9 is an animated film, and not a whole lot of animated films get mentioned on 4K, but this is truly one of the best 4Ks and probably the best animated film on 4K, and that's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Stunning film, absolutely stunning. I'm almost regret getting the first film on just standard Blu-ray because the colors just absolutely are just jaw-dropping and how much they pop. And with the style of this movie, you really want to just take in all the colors, all the visuals, and the sound is improved over the Blu-ray as well. Can't say it enough, one of the best 4Ks. If you love the movie, you want to own it in the best format possible, and this is just a fantastic addition to the 4K collection. Speaking of colors and just color palette, and it's just a jaw-dropping and beautiful looking 4K transfer, we got to talk about The Green Knight. With the beautiful cinematography and the richness and the colors and the depth and the contrast levels, and I think this is one heck of a Blu-ray transfer. And I haven't seen the Blu-ray, but having experienced this film in theaters like 1917, I knew I wanted to own this in the best possible format, and 4K was the way to go. Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision. You can get it on sale, like I think as low as $10 sometimes. So really great price and worthy title to add into your collection. Simply one of the best films on 4K. At number 7 is two movies, because I really couldn't choose between the two, and that is Dune 1 and Dune 2. You can't ask for anything better, but you know, the fantasy films, you really want to immerse yourself in the worlds, and with what Denis Villeneuve was able to do with both of these movies and the technicalities of the film, I think are incredible. It's a stunning looking film, and the sound is incredible, especially the second movie because of the score just stands out even more in that one. Two movies I really wanted to own on 4K, and they don't disappoint. They're one of the best looking and sounding films out there. The Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos just enhances these movies even more. Can't recommend these movies enough. I think they're superb on the 4K format. At number 6 is a bit of a sleeper. I think a lot of people missed this film, and that is Annihilation. Now, this is a stunning film on 4K. The clarity, the detail. This movie was shot on 6K and finished in 4K. It's super tack sharp, and the Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision, yet again, do not disappoint, especially from a lackluster Blu-ray that just was pretty underwhelming and just didn't really pop or have any source of richness. It was just a very murky looking Blu-ray, and I think it was really enhanced by the 4K, and I feel like more people need to talk about Annihilation as a movie on its own, especially on the 4K format. It's one heck of a stunning looking film. Alright, and number 5 is Apocalypse Now. Talk about stunning movies. This is an absolute must own on 4K. The sharpness, the shadows, the detail, it's so much superior than any other release that we have gotten with this film, and just even the Atmos with the booming helicopters and just like the immersion is really felt with this release. I think it's one of the best 4Ks out there, and really great price for it as well. I got this for $10. there's no beating that. You got 5 cuts of this movie in here, and it's just a visual delight. Next up, we're going back to 2 movies because I couldn't really settle between the 2 because they're absolutely gorgeous. And those are the Blade Runner films, the original and 2049. I really couldn't choose. If I had to say which is the most improvement and just crazy amount of detail compared to the really blurry and kind of murky looking original Blu-ray, the original Blade Runner is a clear winner. But with, you know, just modern technology and just the colors, Dolby Vision really enhances 2049 quite a bit, and I just really couldn't settle between the 2, so we're putting them together. These are one of the best 4K transfers out there. They're definitely, you know, you get a new TV, you want to showcase the power of 4K, and these are no exception. These are some of the best movies to show off. Really stunning films, both visually and in terms of the audio, really great. Now the last 3 films I think are just absolutely incredible, and they had all issues with previous releases, and I think that's why these movies I have in my top 3, because they're excellent transfers, they're one of the best, and on top of that, they have fixed a lot of issues in previous releases on physical media. And we'll start things off with number 3, and that is The Matrix. One of the most problematic Blu-rays I've ever experienced with the tinting. I just absolutely hated it. Not only does this film fix it, it also boosts the shadows, the sharpness, the audio is enhanced. Everything you could possibly think of that was a rarely subpar Blu-ray is enhanced, and it's fixed in this 4K. Truly one of the most stunning and beautiful looking 4Ks, and definitely ones to show off. Number 2 is Jaws. I think this has had quite a ride on physical media. To think that this movie at one point had a mono track, and now it has a Dolby Atmos track. Now, it's not going to be like a Dolby Atmos track like some of these other films that we talked about, but the richness, the immersion of this film now compared to what it was, this is the best this film has ever looked and ever probably will look. We were incredibly spoiled by the restoration, by the amount of work that went into making this film really pop, and I'm in awe with how much work that went into bringing this film to the quality that it is now. It's absolutely stunning, one of my favorite horror films of all time. It's one of the best 4Ks out there, and if you're a fan of this movie, it's a must-own on 4K. And the lenticular cover is pretty cool too. Comes with a little booklet. These are what 4K releases and transfers should look like. This is a film that really sets the standard for the format. And last but not least is a film that I've been anticipating to come out on 4K for years, and it finally did, and that is the Lord of the Rings trilogy. If I had to specifically choose one specifically, I would say Fellowship of the Ring, because it had much of the same issues as the Matrix transfer with the tinting problems. Just really hurt the film quite a bit, and it's vastly improved with this 4K transfer. With these films that have some of the best soundtracks ever made, with the cinematography, with all of the technical achievements that this film brought, this deserves to be in the best possible format possible, and they didn't screw up with this transfer, and that is such a relief. And what's great is, not only is it stunning to look at, and the audio is just really immerses you into Middle Earth. What's fantastic is it also has theatrical editions and extended editions. This is like the perfect 4K release. It has everything you could possibly want in this box set. Another film that sets the standard for how 4Ks need to be. Really, no complaints. I think it's a gorgeous and breathtaking 4K. And if you're a fan of fantasy films, Lord of the Rings, it's a must-own. It's a must-own. We've been waiting for this movie for years, and it finally came out, and in great fashion. It's absolutely fantastic. So those are my picks for the best 4Ks that I own. What are some of the titles you own in your collection that you think are top 10 worthy, please do comment that down below in the comment section. Make sure to hit that thumbs up down below as well. And subscribe to the channel for more content, and I will see you guys in a later video.